Welcome to video 14 of the Reality Transurfing Fundamentals series. Today, we'll embark on a profound exploration of slides, those invisible yet powerful mental filters that fundamentally shape how you perceive, interpret, and interact with the reality around you. By developing a deep understanding of slides and mastering the techniques to work with them, you can transform limiting distortions into powerful tools for creating the life you truly desire. This journey will take us through the intricate mechanics of how slides operate, their profound impact on your daily experience, and the practical methods for reshaping them to align with your authentic goals. In the fascinating framework of reality transurfing, a slide represents something far more significant than a simple belief or thought pattern. A slide is a persistent mental image, a deeply ingrained belief system that acts as a constant filter through which you perceive yourself, others, and the world at large. To truly grasp this concept, imagine inserting a carefully crafted tinted lens into a projector. The light source, representing pure reality, remains completely unchanged in its essence, but the image that appears on the screen, your lived experience, is dramatically altered by the specific properties of that filter. These mental filters don't appear randomly in our consciousness. Slides are meticulously formed through a complex interplay of past experiences, societal conditioning, cultural programming, family dynamics, and the endless stream of repetitive thoughts that cycle through our minds day after day. They can manifest as positive constructs that empower and uplift us, such as, "I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to," or "the universe supports my growth and success." Conversely, they can appear as negative limitations that constrain our potential, like "I am fundamentally unworthy of love," or "success always comes at too high a price." The true power of slides lies not merely in their existence as thoughts, but in their remarkable ability to distort the raw data of reality and, more importantly, to attract corresponding outcomes that reinforce their validity. This creates a self-perpetuating cycle where the slide shapes perception, perception influences behavior, behavior generates results, and those results further strengthen the original slide. Consider this illuminating example. If you carry within you a deeply embedded belief that you're socially awkward, a negative slide that colors your social interactions, you might consistently interpret a stranger's neutral facial expression as disapproval, judgment, or disinterest. This interpretation, filtered through your slide, causes you to behave more awkwardly, perhaps becoming withdrawn, speaking too quickly, or avoiding eye contact. The stranger, responding to your uncomfortable behavior rather than to who you truly are, might indeed become distant or disengaged, thereby reinforcing your original belief. The slide has created the very reality it predicted. Conversely, imagine operating with a positive slide like, "I connect easily and authentically with others." With this filter in place, that same neutral expression might be interpreted as openness or curiosity. You approach the interaction with confidence and warmth, the other person responds positively to your energy, and a genuine connection forms. Again, the slide has shaped reality, but this time in a constructive direction. The mechanism of slides extends far beyond simple self-fulfilling prophecies. In reality transurfing, slides are understood to operate through the fundamental fabric of reality itself, interacting with the alternative space, the infinite field of all possible variations of events. Your dominant slides act as tuning forks, resonating with specific sectors of the alternative space and drawing you into lifelines that match their frequency. To fully appreciate the profound impact of slides on your life experience, we must examine the dual mechanisms through which they operate. Slides function as a two-way mirror, simultaneously shaping your internal landscape and your external interpretations. The first and perhaps most fundamental way slides operate is by shaping how you perceive yourself. This self-perception acts as the foundation upon which all other experiences are built. A slide functions like an internal narrator, constantly commenting on your abilities, worth, potential, and place in the world. For instance, consider someone operating with the slide, "I'm not smart enough." This mental filter doesn't simply exist as an abstract thought, it actively influences every aspect of their life. They might consistently avoid intellectual challenges, even when perfectly capable of handling them. In conversations, they might defer to others' opinions, assuming everyone else knows better. When faced with opportunities for growth or advancement, they might self-sabotage by not applying, not speaking up, or not fully engaging. The tragic irony is that these behaviors, driven by the slide, prevent them from gathering evidence of their actual intelligence and capability. The internal dimension of slides also affects physiological responses. Someone with a slide of inadequacy might experience increased stress hormones when faced with challenges, leading to actual performance degradation. Their body literally responds to the slide's programming, creating physical sensations that seem to confirm the mental belief. The second mechanism through which slides operate involves how they influence your interpretation of external events, particularly the actions and intentions of others. This projection mechanism is incredibly subtle yet profoundly powerful. A slide acts like a translator, taking the neutral information from the environment and converting it into meaning that aligns with the slide's core belief. Consider someone carrying the slide. People are fundamentally untrustworthy. Through this filter, acts of kindness become suspicious. Surely there must be an ulterior motive. Genuine compliments are dismissed as manipulation or flattery with hidden agenda. Even neutral behaviors are interpreted through the lens of potential betrayal. This person might become hypervigilant, constantly scanning for signs of deception, and ironically, this very behavior often pushes trustworthy people away while attracting those who resonate with suspicion and guardedness. In reality transurfing terminology, these distortions create what's known as excess potential, an energetic imbalance between your inner state and the natural flow of reality. When you cling tightly to a slide, especially a negative one, you create an artificial importance around certain outcomes or interpretations. This excess potential triggers balancing forces in the universe, which often manifest the very outcomes you fear most. For example, someone desperately clinging to the slide, "I'll never find love," creates enormous excess potential around romantic relationships. This desperation energy might manifest as neediness, jealousy, or defensiveness in potential relationships. Partners sense this imbalance and are naturally repelled, not because the person is unlovable, but because the excess potential creates an uncomfortable dynamic. The universe, seeking balance, delivers experiences that match the energetic signature of the slide. Perhaps the most insidious aspect of how slides distort reality is the feedback loop they create. Each experience filtered through a slide seems to confirm its validity, strengthening its hold on your consciousness. If you believe you're unlucky, you'll notice every minor setback while dismissing positive events as flukes. If you believe you're blessed, you'll see opportunities everywhere while interpreting challenges as growth experiences. This feedback loop extends beyond mere perception into the realm of actual reality creation. In reality transurfing, consciousness doesn't just passively observe reality, it actively participates in its formation. Your slides broadcast a specific frequency into the alternative space, attracting lifelines that resonate with that frequency. Over time, you literally slide into realities that match your dominant mental filters. To truly master the art of working with slides, we must delve deep into the fundamental mechanics of how they interact with reality itself. In reality transurfing, slides are not merely psychological phenomena. They are energetic structures that interface directly with the alternative space, the infinite field of all possible variations of reality. Imagine reality not as a single fixed timeline, but as an infinite library containing every possible variation of every possible moment. This is the alternative space, a concept that revolutionizes our understanding of fate, free will, and the nature of existence itself. Within this space, there exists a version of reality where you are wealthy, another where you struggle financially, one where you're in perfect health, another where you face challenges. Every conceivable variation exists simultaneously as potential. Your consciousness, through the mechanism of slides, acts as a selection device, choosing which of these infinite possibilities becomes your lived experience. The slides you carry determine which sectors of the alternative space you resonate with, effectively tuning you into specific lifelines, chains of causally connected events that unfold as your life story. Your dominant thoughts, crystallized into slides, function like magnetic fields in the alternative space. Just as a magnet attracts iron filings, your slides attract experiences, people, and circumstances that match their energetic signature. This isn't mystical thinking. It's a fundamental principle of how consciousness interfaces with the quantum field of possibilities. When you maintain a slide of abundance, for instance, you're not simply thinking positive thoughts. You're broadcasting a specific frequency that resonates with sectors of the alternative space where abundance is the norm. Opportunities seem to appear from nowhere. Helpful people cross your path at just the right moment, and synchronicities align to support your prosperity. Conversely, a slide of scarcity tunes you into sectors where lack predominates, and despite your best efforts, abundance remains elusive. Vadim Zeland, the architect of reality transurfing, offers a powerful analogy. Imagine your life as a film strip, with each frame representing a moment of experience. Your slides determine which film is loaded into the projector of your consciousness. A negative slide plays a film of struggle and limitation, while a positive slide runs a movie of success and fulfillment. The profound insight is that you have access to countless different films. The alternative space contains them all, and your slides are the mechanism for selecting which one plays out as your life. This understanding transforms the concept of personal development from trying to force change in your current reality to simply selecting a different film to play. You don't need to struggle against what is. You need to tune in to what could be. To illustrate the profound power of reshaping slides, consider the remarkable case of Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, the celebrated French painter. Born into aristocracy but afflicted with a genetic disorder that stunted his growth and left him with significant physical disabilities, Toulouse-Lautrec initially operated under a crushing slide of physical inadequacy and social rejection. This slide colored every aspect of his early life. He interpreted people's glances as pity or disgust, avoided social situations, and believed himself fundamentally unworthy of love or admiration. The slide created a reality where he indeed experienced rejection and isolation, reinforcing his beliefs in a vicious cycle. The transformation began when Toulouse-Lautrec made a crucial shift. Instead of focusing on his physical limitations, he began to cultivate a new slide centered on his extraordinary artistic talents and unique perspective. He didn't deny his physical reality, but he ceased to make it the centerpiece of his identity. This new slide, "I am a gifted artist with a unique vision," began to resonate with different sectors of the alternative space. As he released the importance placed on physical appearance and social conformity, focusing instead on his creative gifts, his reality transformed dramatically. He became not just accepted but celebrated, not just tolerated but loved. The Bohemian society of Montmartre embraced him. Models sought to pose for him, and his work captured the essence of an era. His physical form hadn't changed, but by reshaping his mental filter, he slid into an entirely different lifeline where his differences were assets rather than liabilities. This case powerfully demonstrates that slides don't change the facts of your situation. Toulouse-Lautrec remained physically disabled, but they fundamentally alter which aspect of reality becomes dominant in your experience. By choosing different slides, you literally select different destinies from the infinite alternatives available. Before you can transform your slides, you must first become aware of them. This process of identification requires honest self-observation and a willingness to examine the often unconscious beliefs that drive your perceptions and behaviors. Slides operate most powerfully when they remain hidden in the shadows of consciousness, automatically filtering your experience without your awareness. The first step in identifying your slides involves recognizing repetitive patterns in your life experience. These patterns are like footprints left by invisible slides, revealing their presence through their consistent effects. Ask yourself, what themes keep appearing in my life? What types of situations do I find myself in repeatedly? What kinds of people do I consistently attract? If you often feel criticized, even in benign situations, you might be operating with a slide of, "I'm not good enough," or "people are always judging me." If you frequently find yourself in financial difficulties despite your best efforts, examine whether you're carrying slides about money being scarce, difficult to obtain or somehow tainted. If relationships consistently follow the same disappointing pattern, look for slides about love, trust, or your own worthiness of healthy partnership. To dig deeper into your slides, develop the habit of questioning your automatic interpretations of events. When you have a strong reaction to something, pause and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation? Is this interpretation based on what actually happened, or on what I expected to happen? Would someone else necessarily see this the same way? What belief about myself or the world is being activated right now? For instance, imagine your boss walks past without acknowledging you. Your immediate thought might be, she's angry with me, or I must have done something wrong. But pause. What slide is operating here? Perhaps its authority figures are critical and disapproving, or I'm always making mistakes. By questioning the interpretation, you begin to see the slide behind it. Your emotional reactions serve as powerful indicators of active slides. Strong emotions, whether anxiety, resentment, jealousy, or even excessive excitement, often point to areas where slides are particularly influential. These emotions arise when external events either threaten or validate the core beliefs held within your slides. Create an emotion journal where you note moments of intense feeling throughout your day. What triggered the emotion? What thoughts accompanied it? What did you believe about yourself or the situation in that moment? Over time, patterns will emerge that reveal your dominant slides. Your physical sensations also provide valuable clues about your slides. When a slide is activated, your body often responds with tension, constriction, or discomfort in specific areas. Some people feel a tightness in their chest when their unworthiness slide activates. Others experience a knot in their stomach when their fear of failure slide engages. Begin to notice these physical signatures. When you feel bodily discomfort in response to a situation, ask yourself what belief or interpretation might be causing this reaction. The body often knows what slides are operating before the conscious mind recognizes them. Let's examine how this identification process works with a concrete example. Suppose you experience intense anxiety before public speaking. Rather than simply accepting this as just how you are, dig deeper to identify the underlying slides. Is the core slide, "I'll embarrass myself"? This suggests beliefs about perfectionism and the catastrophic nature of making mistakes. Is it, "I'm not articulate"? This points to slides about intellectual inadequacy or communication abilities. Perhaps it's, "People will judge me harshly"? This reveals slides about others' critical nature and your vulnerability to their opinions. Or maybe, "I don't deserve to be heard." This indicates deep slides about self-worth and the value of your contributions. Each of these different slides would require a different approach to transformation, which is why accurate identification is crucial. One of the most powerful ways to identify your slides is through examining your relationships. Other people often serve as mirrors, reflecting back the slides you project onto the world. If you consistently attract partners who are emotionally unavailable, what slide might you be carrying about love and intimacy? If friends frequently disappoint you, what expectations or beliefs might you be projecting onto them? Pay particular attention to the qualities you find most irritating in others. These often point slides about aspects of yourself you've rejected or fear. The person who infuriates you with their arrogance might be reflecting a slide where you've suppressed your own confidence. The friend whose neediness annoys you might be mirroring a slide where you've denied your own needs for connection. Having identified your limiting slides, the next crucial phase involves systematically replacing them with constructs that serve your highest good. This process requires more than positive thinking. It demands a sophisticated understanding of how consciousness interacts with reality and a commitment to consistent practice. Step 1. Reduce importance, the art of detachment. The first and perhaps most critical step in transforming negative slides is to reduce their importance. In reality transurfing, importance creates excess potential, which triggers balancing forces that often work against your desires. When you assign massive significance to changing a slide, you paradoxically strengthen its grip on your reality. Negative slides thrive on emotional charge. They feed on your fear, anger, frustration, and desperation. Each time you react strongly to a slide's activation, you pump more energy into it, making it more dominant in your consciousness. The path to transformation begins with energetic detachment. Practice observing your slides with the detached curiosity of a scientist studying an interesting phenomenon. When you catch a negative slide operating, instead of fighting it or falling into self-judgment, simply note, there's that thought pattern again. Interesting. This neutral observation begins to drain the emotional charge that keeps the slide powerful. Develop the practice of affirming. This belief is just a thought that I've repeated many times. It's not ultimate truth. It's not who I am, and it's not permanent. It's simply a mental habit that no longer serves me. This affirmation acknowledges the slide's existence without giving it the importance that would create excess potential. Consider importance from another angle. When you desperately need to change a slide because you believe your happiness depends on it, you're affirming its power over you. Instead, approach transformation from a place of choice and preference. I choose to develop new mental patterns because they'll enhance my experience, but I'm already whole and complete as I am. Step 2. Create a target slide, architecting your new reality. With importance reduced, you're ready to consciously design a new slide that aligns with your authentic desires. This isn't about fantasy or wishful thinking. It's about selecting from the infinite possibilities in the alternative space a version of yourself that already exists. Creating an effective target. Slide requires careful consideration. It must be specific enough to provide clear direction. Instead of "I want to be confident," try "I speak my truth with calm assurance, knowing my perspective has value." Believable enough to avoid internal resistance. If your current slide is "I'm terrible with money," jumping to "I'm a millionaire" might create too much dissonance. "I'm learning to manage money wisely, and my financial situation is steadily improving" might be more effective. Emotionally resonant. The new slide should evoke positive feelings when you contemplate it. If it feels forced or fake, refine it until it creates a sense of expansion and possibility. Aligned with your authentic self. Don't create slides based on what others think you should want. Your target slide must resonate with your genuine desires and values. Visualization plays a crucial role in creating your target slide. Close your eyes and imagine yourself already embodying this new belief. How do you move through the world? How do you interact with others? What decisions do you make? The more sensory detail you can include, the more real the new slide becomes to your consciousness. If your negative slide is "I'm disorganized and chaotic," your target slide might be "I handle tasks with ease and clarity. My environment reflects my inner calm, and I complete projects with focused efficiency." Visualize yourself working in a clean, organized space, moving through tasks with smooth confidence, feeling the satisfaction of completion. Step 3. Align heart and mind, the unity of feeling and logic. For a slide to materialize in your reality, it requires the agreement of both your emotional center, heart, and your logical center, mind. This alignment creates what Reality Transurfing calls unity of heart and mind, a state of congruence where your entire being moves in the same direction. The heart represents your feeling nature, your intuition, your authentic desires. It knows what truly resonates with your soul's purpose. The mind represents your logical understanding, your rational assessment of possibilities, your strategic planning capacity. When these two centers align, you become a powerful creator. Often we encounter internal resistance when trying to install new slides. The heart might desire something the mind considers impossible, or the mind might choose something the heart finds uninspiring. This discord creates static in your broadcasting to the alternative space, attracting mixed or weak results. To create alignment, engage in internal dialogue between these centers. Heart. I long to express myself creatively and be recognized for my unique gifts. Mind, but that seems risky. What about financial security? Resolution. I can develop my creative gifts while maintaining stability. Many people successfully balance artistic expression with practical needs. I'll start with small steps that honor both concerns. The key question to ask when doubts arise is, how would I act if this slide were already true? This shifts you from trying to believe something new to simply acting from that reality. If your new slide is, "I'm a clear communicator," you don't need to convince yourself. Just ask how a clear communicator would handle your current situation and act accordingly. Step 4. Use anchors. Embedding new patterns. Transformation requires moving beyond intellectual understanding into embodied practice. Anchoring techniques help embed new slides into your daily experience, creating neural pathways that support your chosen beliefs. The power of anchoring lies in association. By consistently pairing your new slide with specific activities, sensations, or cues, you create automatic triggers that reinforce the new pattern. Here are several effective anchoring strategies. Routine integration. Link your new slide to activities you already do daily. While brushing your teeth, affirm your new slide. As you shower, visualize the water washing away old patterns and installing new ones. During your commute, spend 5 minutes embodying your target slide. These routine anchors ensure consistent reinforcement without requiring additional time or effort. Sensory anchors. Create a specific gesture, posture, or breath pattern that you associate with your new slide. For instance, if your slide is about confidence, you might anchor it to standing tall with shoulders back and taking 3 deep breaths. Practice this repeatedly while feeling the emotions of confidence. Eventually, simply assuming this posture will trigger the confident state. Environmental cues. Place visual reminders of your new slide in your environment. This might be a meaningful image on your phone wallpaper, a note on your mirror, or an object that symbolizes your transformation. Each time you notice these cues, take a moment to reconnect with your target slide. Language patterns. Pay attention to how you speak about yourself and your life. Replace language that reinforces old slides with words that support new ones. Instead of "I'm so disorganized," try "I'm developing better organizational skills." Instead of "I can't," explore "I'm learning to." This isn't about denial. It's about choosing language that opens possibilities rather than closing them. Celebration rituals. Create small celebration rituals for moments when you successfully embody your new slide. This might be a mental yes when you catch yourself operating from the new pattern, or a physical gesture of victory. These celebrations release dopamine, reinforcing the new neural pathway and making it more likely you'll repeat the behavior. Let's now engage in a comprehensive visualization exercise designed to help you actively reshape a slide. This practice combines multiple sensory modalities and psychological principles to create deep, lasting change. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed and prepare to journey into the workshop of your consciousness. Preparation phase. Sit comfortably with your spine straight but relaxed. Take several deep breaths, allowing each exhale to release any tension you're holding. With each inhale, imagine drawing in clarity and creative power. Feel your body settling into a state of relaxed alertness, calm yet fully present. The visualization journey. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing in a spacious, beautiful room filled with soft, natural light. This is your personal projection room, a sacred space within your consciousness where you have complete creative control. Notice the details of this room, the texture of the floor beneath your feet, the quality of light, the temperature of the air. Make this space feel real and welcoming. In the center of the room, you see 2 sophisticated projection devices. These aren't ordinary projectors. They're crystalline structures that pulse with inner light, representing the technology of consciousness itself. One projector glows with a dim, muddy light. This is broadcasting your current limiting slide. The other stands ready but inactive, waiting for you to program it with your new chosen reality. Approach the first projector. On the wall, you can see the images it's projecting, scenes from your life as filtered through your negative slide. Perhaps you see yourself shrinking back from opportunities, struggling with the same challenges, repeating patterns that no longer serve you. Observe these images without judgment, recognizing them simply as one possible version of reality, not the only option available to you. Notice the control panel on this projector. There's a large dial that controls the brightness and intensity. Slowly reach out and begin turning this dial down. As you do, watch the projected images begin to fade. The scenes become dimmer, less distinct, their colors washing out. Feel a sense of relief as these old patterns lose their grip on your reality. Continue turning the dial until the images are barely visible, just faint shadows on the wall. Now turn to the second projector. Place your hands on its crystalline surface and feel it responding to your touch, ready to receive your programming. Take a moment to clarify your target. Slide in your mind. Feel the emotions associated with this new way of being. Let these feelings flow through your hands into the projector, programming it with your chosen frequency. Step back and watch as this projector begins to glow with brilliant, clear light. On the wall, new images begin to appear, scenes of you embodying your target slide. See yourself moving through life with the qualities you've chosen. Notice how you stand, how you speak, how you interact with others. See specific situations where you're successfully living from this new slide. Make these images as vivid and detailed as possible. But don't just watch. This is interactive visualization. Step forward into the projected scene. Feel yourself merging with this version of you. Experience what it's like to inhabit this reality. How does your body feel? What thoughts move through your mind? What emotions fill your heart? Breathe as this version of you breathes. Move as they move. Let every cell of your being learn this new way of existing. Spend several minutes fully immersed in this experience, exploring different scenarios where your new slide operates. Perhaps you see yourself confidently expressing your ideas in a meeting, gracefully handling a challenge that would have previously overwhelmed you, or simply moving through your day with the ease and flow that comes from aligned beliefs. Integration phase. When you feel complete, step back from the projection. The images continue to play, but now you understand that this isn't just a visualization. It's a selection from the alternative space that you're making real through your practice. Turn the brightness on this new projector to maximum, letting its light fill the entire room, bathing you in the frequency of your chosen reality. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Feel these two centers of intelligence acknowledging and accepting the new slide. Say internally or aloud, "This is who I choose to be. This reality is available to me now. I select this lifeline from the infinite alternative space." Closing and anchoring. Before opening your eyes, create a simple gesture that will help you reconnect with this experience throughout your day. Perhaps touching your thumb and forefinger together, placing a hand on your heart, or taking a specific breath pattern. This becomes your anchor to instantly access the state you've just created. Slowly return your awareness to your physical surroundings. Wiggle your fingers and toes. When you're ready, open your eyes, carrying with you the frequency of your new slide. Know that each time you practice this visualization, you strengthen the new pattern and make it more dominant in your consciousness. For maximum effectiveness, engage with this visualization for 10 to 15 minutes each morning, ideally right after waking when your consciousness is most receptive. Additionally, use your anchor gesture throughout the day whenever you need to reconnect with your new slide. Before sleep, spend a few minutes reviewing moments from your day when you successfully operated from the new slide, reinforcing these positive patterns. As you embark on the journey of reshaping your slides, awareness of common obstacles can help you navigate more skillfully. These pitfalls aren't signs of failure. They're natural parts of the transformation process that, once recognized, can actually accelerate your progress. One of the most seductive pitfalls in working with slides is creating target slides that represent impossible ideals rather than achievable realities. This often stems from comparing your inner experience with others' external presentations or from consuming too much idealized content on social media and in self-help literature. When you create a slide of perfect confidence, what exactly does that mean? Someone who never experiences doubt, who never feels nervous, who succeeds at everything they attempt. Such a person doesn't exist in reality, and aiming for this impossible standard creates internal resistance and sets you up for perceived failure. Instead, aim for human, achievable versions of your desired qualities. Rather than perfect confidence, consider growing confidence with compassionate self-acceptance. Rather than never making mistakes, try learning gracefully from experiences. Rather than always happy, explore emotionally resilient with access to joy. Real growth includes integration of all aspects of human experience. A truly confident person isn't someone who never feels uncertain, it's someone who can feel uncertainty without being paralyzed by it. A successful person isn't someone who never fails, it's someone who fails forward, extracting wisdom from setbacks. In our instant gratification culture, we've been conditioned to expect immediate results. When working with slides, this expectation can become a major obstacle. You might practice visualization for a week and wonder why your entire reality hasn't transformed. This impatience creates excess potential and actually slows the manifestation process. Understanding the mechanics of change helps cultivate patience. When you reshape a slide, you're literally rewiring neural pathways that may have been reinforced for years or decades. You're also navigating through the alternative space to align with new lifelines, which requires time for synchronicities to arrange themselves. Think of it like planting a garden. When you plant seeds, you don't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. You trust the process, providing consistent care while allowing natural timing to unfold. The same principle applies to slides. Your consistent practice is like watering and tending the seeds. The manifestation happens on its own timeline, often in ways more elegant than you could have orchestrated. Reality transurfing teaches that outer intention, the mechanism by which reality rearranges itself to match your inner state, works with a delay. This delay isn't a flaw. It's a feature that prevents every fleeting thought from manifesting and allows for course corrections. Trust that if you maintain consistent practice, shift will occur, often suddenly and surprisingly after a period of apparent dormancy. Another significant pitfall involves comparing your journey with others' experiences or trying to adopt slides that aren't authentically yours. Perhaps you see someone else's success and try to copy their exact beliefs and practices, or you read about someone's transformation and expect yours to follow the same pattern. This comparison trap fails to honor the fundamental truth that each person's path through the alternative space is unique. Your starting point, your soul's purpose, your life experiences, and your energetic signature are unlike anyone else's. A slide that works brilliantly for someone else might feel forced and inauthentic for you. For instance, one person might thrive with a slide of, "I'm a natural leader who inspires others," while for another person, authentic power might express through, "I create beauty that touches hearts," or "I solve complex problems with innovative thinking." Trying to force yourself into someone else's mold creates internal discord and attracts lifelines that don't align with your true nature. The key is to discover what genuinely resonates with your authentic self. What brings you alive? What feels like coming home to yourself? What qualities, when you embody them, make you feel most like who you really are? Your target slides should enhance your unique essence, not replace it with someone else's blueprint. In the excitement of creating positive slides, it's tempting to simply overlay them on top of unresolved emotional material. This spiritual bypassing, using spiritual concepts to avoid dealing with difficult emotions or experiences, ultimately undermines the transformation process. If you've experienced trauma, disappointment, or significant challenges, these experiences need acknowledgement and integration, not denial. Creating a slide of "I am completely healed and whole" without addressing underlying wounds is like painting over rust. Eventually, the underlying issue will surface. Effective slide work includes honoring your full experience. This might mean acknowledging past pain while choosing not to let it define your future. Feeling grief or anger fully before moving toward new patterns. Seeking appropriate support, therapy, healing work, etc., alongside your slide practice. Creating slides that include integration, such as, "I am healing and growing stronger each day." Perhaps the most subtle pitfall is trying too hard to make your new slides stick. This forcing energy creates the opposite of what you intend. It reinforces the old slide by emphasizing its power and your desperation to escape it. Reality transurfing emphasizes the importance of allowing rather than making. When you try to force a new slide through willpower alone, you create excess potential that triggers balancing forces. It's like trying to push water uphill, exhausting, and ultimately futile. Instead, approach slide transformation with what Zeland calls coordinated intention, a relaxed focus that combines clear intention with detached allowing. You know what you're choosing, You take consistent action to support it, but you remain open to how it manifests. This balanced approach creates optimal conditions for smooth transition between lifelines. As we reach the culmination of our exploration into slides, it's time to integrate everything we've learned into a coherent understanding that empowers lasting transformation. The journey through slides reveals a fundamental truth about the nature of reality. You are not a passive observer of a fixed world, but an active participant in selecting which version of infinite possibilities becomes your lived experience. The essential recognition slides are not fixed features of your personality or immutable facts about reality. They are simply well-worn patterns of perception that you've unconsciously adopted over time. Like a pair of colored glasses you've worn so long you've forgotten they're there. Slides filter every aspect of your experience until you believe the tinted world you see is the only reality available. But here's the liberating truth. Just as you can remove physical glasses, you can consciously choose to replace limiting slides with empowering ones. This isn't about denying reality or engaging in wishful thinking. It's about recognizing that multiple valid interpretations exist for any situation, and you have the power to select interpretations that serve your highest good. Your role as the projector operator. Throughout this exploration, we've used the metaphor of projection, and for good reason. In the cinema of your life, you are not merely the audience watching whatever happens to play on screen. You are the projector operator, with access to an infinite library of films, different lifelines in the alternative space. Each slide you carry is like selecting a specific film to play. A slide of limitation plays a story of struggle and constraint. A slide of possibility projects adventures and opportunities. The screen of reality simply reflects whatever film you've chosen to run. When you truly grasp this, victimhood becomes impossible, because you understand your role in selecting what plays out. This doesn't mean you control every detail of external events. That would be excess importance. Rather, you control which aspects of reality you tune into, which interpretations you choose, and therefore which lifelines you slide along. External events may occur, but your slides determine whether they become stepping stones or stumbling blocks. The world as your canvas reality. Transurfing presents the world not as a fixed sculpture, but as a responsive canvas. Your slides are the brushes with which you paint your experience. Each belief, each persistent thought pattern adds another stroke to the masterpiece of your life. When you recognize this creative power, life transforms from something that happens to you into something you actively co-create. But remember, you're not painting in isolation. The alternative space contains infinite canvases, each one representing a possible life path. Your slides determine which canvas becomes prominent in your experience. By consciously choosing your slides, you select which masterpiece to manifest from the infinite gallery of possibilities. The practice of conscious selection. Becoming a master of slides requires developing the habit of conscious selection. Throughout your day, countless opportunities arise to choose between different interpretive slides. That delayed train could be viewed through a slide of "everything goes wrong for me" or "perfect timing for unexpected opportunities." That challenging conversation could be filtered through "people always misunderstand me" or "I'm learning to communicate more clearly." Each choice point is an opportunity to practice selecting slides that align with your desired reality. This isn't about fake positivity or denying difficulties. It's about recognizing that you always have options in how you interpret and respond to events, and these choices accumulate to create your life trajectory. Integration and embodiment. True mastery of slides goes beyond intellectual understanding to full embodiment. It's not enough to know about slides conceptually. You must live the practice daily until it becomes as natural as breathing. This requires consistent awareness, regularly checking in with yourself to notice which slides are currently active, compassionate adjustment, gently redirecting when you catch limiting slides without self-judgment, patient persistence, understanding that rewiring deep patterns takes time and consistent practice. Celebratory recognition, acknowledging moments when new slides successfully guide your experience, the ripple effect. As you transform your slides, you'll notice effects rippling out far beyond your personal experience. When you shift from slides of limitation to possibility, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. Your transformed energy affects everyone you encounter, creating a positive feedback loop that amplifies the changes. This ripple effect extends into the alternative space itself. As you consistently choose higher vibration slides, you naturally migrate toward lifelines where positive experiences are more common. You might notice that lucky events increase, helpful people appear more frequently, and solutions emerge more readily. This isn't magic, it's the natural result of tuning into sectors of reality that match your new frequency. Living the question. As we conclude this deep exploration, I invite you to live with this question as a daily practice. Which slide am I projecting right now? This simple inquiry, asked regularly throughout your day, keeps you conscious and empowered in your role as reality creator. When challenges arise, ask, what slide would help me navigate this most skillfully? When opportunities appear, ask, what slide would allow me to fully receive this gift? When interacting with others, ask, what slide would create the most harmonious connection? These questions keep you actively engaged in conscious creation rather than defaulting to unconscious patterns. The journey continues. Remember that working with slides is not a destination, but an ongoing journey of conscious evolution. As you master one layer of slides, deeper patterns may reveal themselves for transformation. This isn't a setback. It's a sign of your growing awareness and capacity for change. Each slide you successfully transform increases your confidence and skill in the process. What once seemed impossible, changing fundamental beliefs about yourself and reality, becomes a natural part of your growth journey. You develop what could be called slide literacy, the ability to read, understand, and rewrite the mental programs that shape your experience, your invitation to mastery. As we complete this exploration, you stand at a threshold. Behind you lies the unconscious acceptance of whatever slides happen to form from your past experiences. Before you stretches the path of conscious selection, where you actively choose the filters through which you experience life. This is your invitation to step fully into your power as a conscious creator. Not through force or struggle, but through the elegant practice of selecting from the infinite options always available in the alternative space. Your slides are your tools. Your reality is your canvas, and your life is the masterpiece waiting to be consciously created. In our next video, we'll explore goal visualization, taking the foundation of slides and applying it to specific manifestation techniques. We'll learn how to refine your mental images with laser precision to attract your desired outcomes with minimal effort and maximum effectiveness. Until then, practice observing your slides with curiosity and compassion. Notice which filters you're looking through, and ask yourself if they're showing you the reality you wish to experience. Remember, in every moment, you have the power to choose anew. Paint boldly. Choose consciously. Live magnificently.